Jennifer really took this fantasy restaurant to heart. She quite literally picked every food that she's allergic to and went wild. I can't think of a better use of an EpiPen, I suppose. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed this meal with Jennifer. So, Jennifer, thank you for joining me in the fantasy restaurant today.
Thanks, Greg, for having me.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you the quick rundown on the format. This is a fantasy restaurant, so you're going to pick a bunch of your different favorite foods and things like that, and they could be something that you make, something your family members make, something you had when you were a kid, something you saw on TV that looked appetizing, right? No holds barred. It can be completely obscene the way you're putting these things together. It's entirely up to you, right? This is solely up to you. No judgment here. I take that back. I'm going to be judging you constantly and regularly throughout the process. So just, just learn to let that go, and we'll all be better people for you. You ready?
I am.
All right. So I like to start with your drink. What's your drink going to be at this fantasy restaurant?
All right. Well, I'm going to back you up because this is going to lay the foundation for everything in here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I am allergic to so many different things. I'm one of those people. And so my fantasy restaurant is basically going to be things that I can't have, that I miss dearly.
Oh my goodness.
That I want to partake in without having any sort of ramifications.
Well, I've heard some people say, is this my last meal? And I guess for you, this would truly be probably your last meal. You're going to be done after this. Okay.
If I ate all of these things and drank all of these things, I would it would be my last meal for sure. But I think I haven't had a drink in like 6 years, which it was one of my best friends. Oh, I used to be a lawyer back in the day, so drinking was like a part of my practice. And I would go for an Old Faithful. I would go to just a really nice vodka martini, dirty, filthy dirty, with a big olive in it.
All right. So vodka, like when you say dirty, that means you're putting stuff inside, right? So
olive juice, yeah.
Olive juice, okay. Vodka martini,
yeah,
dirty.
I like salty. Yeah, filthy dirty, big.
Now, I've heard of some people getting dirty martinis where the olives are like stuffed with stuff. Is that what you're talking about, or is it just plain olive?
For my first one, I would just go plain, pimento. Like I said, it's been 6 years, and I don't think I would mess it up with blue cheese and olives is really good, but I think I would pass on that and would just go kind of an old standard.
I've heard of it. I've heard of people doing it, man. So, but we're gonna ease into it. That's fine. I guess as the evening progresses, you can adjust. It's entirely up to you. Are you a snob on like what brand of vodka?
Not anymore. It's been 6 years. I don't know, do something like Belvedere or Grey Goose. But if it's my fantasy one, I don't even know what the best vodka in the world is. But I'd go for that one.
All right. I mean, I can dig it.
Yeah.
I'm on board. All right. So we got a drink. Now let's, now for me, and this is what I always tell people, this is the appetizer portion of the meal. And this is where I tend to get the most adventurous, right? Because generally it's a small portion and I've got a main coming, so I can just go buck wild. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to goad you into getting something weird. I'm just an appetizer person for that very reason. So what's your poison of choice there?
All right. So if I get to go with things that I can't normally have, it's going to be cheese. Cheese. I would go with some sort of brie. It would be, this is going to be kind of lame for everybody else, but for me, it's super exotic.
Well, you could do something like a charcuterie board, right? Where it's got lots of stuff, variety.
Sure, except I'm a vegetarian, so.
So really just.
Worst guest ever.
No, I've had a vegan on here. And he literally only ate French fries. That was all he ate, except for the dessert, which were Twinkies. So you're definitely one up in that, brother. Let's see. So how about just a variety of cheeses?
A variety of cheeses on glutinous bread. A lot of glutinous
I was going to
bread.
ask about bread. So what kind of bread are we talking
Yeah.
about?
Um, I want something straight out of the oven.
Oh, where it's smoking hot, you can
And
barely touch it, right?
yeah, and crusty on the outside, soft on the inside. And yeah, definitely with the brie on there, maybe some sort of preserve that was baked in a
Oh,
baked brie.
oh,
That's what I'm going for. Now, if I were going to be more adventurous and I could have all of these things on a regular basis, there's a chef out of Spain that creates these foams that have the essence of flavors of things. And I think that would be kind of interesting to try. Not filling, but interesting.
hmm. Um, so whenever I'm picturing this bread in my head, I see it's like a nice loaf. It's not too even. I want it to be a little lumpy, right? I want it to look homemade. And then inside,
Hmm.
it's very fluffy, big cell structure. Is that what we're talking about? Really light and airy? Or is it?
Whatever's the most glutinous. Whatever it is, like it just needs to kind of melt in your mouth, and it doesn't need to be really chewy. The exterior needs to be chewy and crunchy,
Yeah.
but the interior is just like it falls
Oh,
apart. And then big side of butter, like really nice whipped butter to slather in there
is
too.
this a honey butter, a cinnamon butter, or just we're just talking plain salted butter?
Plain salted
Mm.
butter, grass fed, milked by maidens out of the
And this
Alps,
is and this is going
like
to be room temperature, right? So that it just immediately melts on that bread.
yes, yes, yes,
That's what I
yes.
said.
It's this is going to be completely gluttonous. I failed to mention that everything on my menu that we're serving today is calorie free.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like I said, and you can drink as much as you want. You never get drunk unless that is your goal,
That's true.
and then feel free.
No, I'd love to get drunk. I would love to get drunk. So I hope that you too will be drinking with me alcoholic alcohol. And then we can both get a little drunk.
Oh my goodness! I knew you were my sister from a different mister, just from the emails. I could tell. I could tell this is the direction it was going. All right. So we have our appetizer. Are you doing a salad? Like, are you going to try and feel better about yourself, or are we just jumping right in?
No, not for this meal. Hell no.
Uh,
I eat like 3 salads a day. Hell no.
okay. We're on the same wavelength. I'm with you. All right. So what
Yeah.
are we doing for our main dish?
Our main dish, I did mention that I'm a vegetarian, and some of the things I can't have are gluten and cheese and tomatoes. So I am going to go with a multi-cheese, multi-layer vegetarian lasagna.
Nice.
Yeah.
So whenever I get a lasagna, I like to take the Kraft shake cheese that's the Parmesan that you know is like 50% sawdust. And I love to
Uh-huh.
just coat it.
Dump it
I don't
on
know
there.
what it is because it's like stinky and disgusting. And I feel bad about myself while I'm doing it. But I don't know, man. It tastes so good to me. Are you going like fresh shredded Parmesan? What are you doing there?
Yeah, we're going to the farmer's market and getting all of the cheeses. We're flying in the cheese from like Italy and
Oh,
Spain.
man.
Yeah, we're doing it. Like
We're
this
in
is
it.
all of the things.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. And there's going to be like organic feta in this thing and a really good burrata type of mozzarella.
ooh,
And then, yeah, really nice Parmesan on the top
okay.
for a little bit of
So you
bite.
said feta and Parmesan. Those are both traditionally pretty stinky. Are you a stinky cheese kind of person? You like it to have some bite?
Yeah, I do. I do. I mean,
Me too.
like, the whole Limburger cheese, forget that.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want it to
no,
smell
I
like I'm
can't
eating
get
a
close
gym
enough to it.
sock, right? But yeah.
Right.
I don't want the cheese to bite me back whenever I take a bite. But yeah, I'm with you. I like it to
Right.
have a little personality, have a little body.
Hmm. And then spicy too. Like I'm a big spicy fan. That's one of the things I can't really
Oh
have
my
any
God,
longer
you are
either.
broken.
I know I'm totally broken. So this meal is like really fun. Yeah, super spicy, lots of red hot pepper on there, an arrabbiata sauce to the whole lasagna. I'm a vegetarian, so another thing I can't have that I miss dearly is eggplant. So almost like a eggplant parmesan, like a crusted eggplant inside. So there's some crunch in there.
Oh my goodness.
It's super decadent.
Wow. This is over the top. I don't know if I can handle
Yeah.
all this.
Yeah, you can. Your arteries are going to slam shut at
Oh,
the
no,
end,
I'm good.
but again, we'll just open them up. It's my
That's good.
prerogative.
I'll take some blood thinners. I'll just hit myself with a shot of insulin just before we do it. We'll be good. Eggplant parm on the inside.
Hmm.
I like how you snuck in an extra main dish there by just,
Yeah,
hey, let's make a turducken out of this thing. Let's just start stuffing
yeah,
things in things.
exactly.
All right. All right. So, side dishes. I mean, I obviously
No,
you stuffed everything
no.
inside the lasagna now, but there's got to be something on the
Yeah,
side you want, right?
maybe some olives, but no, like
Some additional
it's so
olives.
layered. It's so layered and so big and thick that that's the
I'm
thing.
trying to think, have I ever eaten a side dish when I've eaten lasagna? And I can't picture anything other than like a French bread or something, but that's not really a side dish.
Mm-mm. And we still have the bread from, I mean, we're going to do this family style. So everything is like on the table. So you're mixing and matching. And there's a lot of sauce in this lasagna. Like a lot of times people make lasagnas that are really kind of almost dense. Mine's got sauce oozing out. So that bread that we were eating earlier, we're sopping it up with that. It's kind of going to be a sensual meal. You know what I mean? Like, we will have a fork, but a lot of it you're eating with your hands.
Gotcha. So that's where the sensual comes in because we're eating like cave
We're like,
people.
yes, been a long
Gotcha.
time.
So when you really want to get turned on and have a good time, you go to like the Ren Fair. I get it. You just
Oh,
eat with your
a
hands.
big turkey leg. Yeah.
You go to medieval times. That's just like the peak. So you know that's the one when he invites you to medieval times. I get it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That freaks me out. Oh, like having my hands on nasty because I'm thinking we're eating all these foods. So I mean, I'm over here
It's
eating
pre-COVID. It's
pre and
pre-COVID.
okay. Right, the fantasy
It'll
restaurant
be
is
fine.
germ free. Okay. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. We're good. We're good. All right. So now, and this is possibly the most important part of the meal. This could be the decider. I may have to kick you out. What are you having for dessert?
Oh man. Well, it's going to be a dessert
Oh,
buffet.
okay.
Um, One of my favorite desserts I've ever had was the most beautiful vanilla made ice cream with espresso poured on top of it. It was delightful and it gave you a kick at the end after like a heavy carb meal. That would be one thing, but I would be a bad person if I didn't have cheesecake at dinner. Everything's dairy with me. Cheese, cheese, cheese,
I
dairy,
see
dairy,
that.
dairy.
And so this
Yeah.
vanilla ice cream, where did this stuff come from?
It'll be from the same place where the butter came from, like the Swiss Alps and the maidens milking the cows and all of
Oh
that.
my
As
gosh.
exotic as you can get, the vanilla beans flown in from, like South Africa or something.
Gosh. Exotic. Yes, you are definitely.
Who's making our meal is Martha Stewart.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah, we've got her in the
Can you
kitchen.
trust her? She's done time. I don't know.
She has done time. That's what makes it interesting, right? Like the vodka she's made, like in the what do they call it in prison? Like in the
Yeah,
toilet,
Pruno.
they make yeah. That's how she made
Gotcha.
it.
It's toilet wine. Okay. Well, I mean, to each their own. I'm learning so much about you right now. I had not even anticipated any of this stuff. So you said a cheesecake. What kind of cheesecake? Just a plain Jane cheesecake? You putting stuff on top? What are we doing here?
Yeah, you put fruit on top. You're gonna have for me it would be raspberries,
Ugh,
a raspberry like compote.
that was the wrong choice. The tiny
What's the right?
seeds get like stuck in my teeth. It drives me crazy. Like when you bite on them, it's like chewing on pea gravel. It's awful.
No, but they've been cooked down.
Yeah, but it still has the seed. Are we straining the seeds out? Can we get rid of that?
Yeah, we're gonna for you
All right.
anything.
Uh, so the cheesecake, I usually like a cheesecake with just a teeny bit of citrus in there, right? So it's just got a little hint that kind of lightens it up. Is that good? Is that okay?
Yeah, I love that.
All right.
Yeah, balance out the fat with a little acid. Absolutely.
All right, getting all technical on me. Is that, you said a buffet? That's two things. I don't know that that constitutes a
Two
buffet,
things. Okay.
but we can stop there if you're
Well,
good.
then we'd go pastry. We'd go pastry, something with what are they called? They're like a Bavarian cream filled pastry with the chocolate on top.
Like the cream
And we have
horns, those kind of things.
lighter
Oh
than
wow,
that. Yeah, lighter than that. Almost like a Boston cream pie-ish feel.
pastry with chocolate on top, and it's like hard chocolate,
Hmm.
right? Or are we talking is it like soft, like a syrup, sort of?
It's more like a syrup, but it's hardened
Okay.
a little bit. Um, and then we have to have an excellent cup of espresso or coffee or whatever that pairs with that, that cuts the sweet and then boosts your energy. Because any good meal, you're having good conversation after, but when you pull out the booze after the meal, that's where all the conversation gets down and dirty.
Well, you could go espresso martini then.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. Are you ready for me to read back your menu? All right,
sure.
no regrets, right? Regret nothing here. So we're starting out with a vodka martini. It's going to be dirty with an enormous olive. We're talking the
Yes.
size of a golf ball.
I mean, I'm willing to go there.
I am too. Let's see. Then we're going to go for our appetizer. We're doing brie with a bread that is straight out of the oven, and it's light but chewy on the outside. And we've got some soft butter that's room temperature, straight from the Alps, churned by a maiden, I guess. I pictured somebody with like pigtails and
Yeah, corset,
yeah,
you
a
know,
gingham
like
plaid
Heidi,
sort of thing. Yeah, there
Heidi,
you
but
go.
older.
She doesn't speak. She only yodels. Okay, so
There you
uh,
go. Yeah.
then we're doing this is a long one. A vegetarian lasagna, lots of layers, stacked high. It's got all the cheeses, somewhat sharp and kind of smelly, but not too much. And then we're doing some spicy sauce inside. But we also have a very well done eggplant parmesan kind of sandwiched in the middle, little sneaky surprise. Sound right?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
And then our side dish, it's really just olives, but in earnest, it's everything that's already on the table because it's family style. We're all eating it together. And then dessert, we're going to have our buffet of 3, which is vanilla ice cream that's home churned with espresso beans flown in from South Africa, I think is where they came from.
It's an actual like shot of espresso that you pour on top, and it like helps melt the ice cream.
Okay. Helps melt. So you like it somewhat melty. So
Hmm.
it's more like a
Yeah.
milkshake at that point then.
It you know, you still have the main scoop in there. It's also poured into like a wine glass. So it's elevated off the table a little bit, and yeah, it kind of forms a soup, but then the ice cream is even softer. It's getting closer to
I'm
soft
on board.
serve.
I'll eat it hard. Like I eat it straight out of the carton, but I eat it with a fork because
Uh-huh.
it's too hard to actually scoop with a spoon. Or I'll eat it when it's all melted. I mean, it's kind of all the same to me. Um, then a cheesecake with a nice little bit of citrus in there, right? That lightens
Hmm.
it up. And then we're doing a raspberry compote, but you're straining the seeds out because we're not savages here, right? We're
That's right.
refined.
Even though we're eating with our
Yeah, but
hands.
we're doing it with our pinkies out the entire time, so it's fine.
Amen.
Then we're doing a Bavarian cream-filled pastry with chocolate on top that's not too hard, not too soft, somewhere Mama Bear it right in the middle, right?
Yep.
And
Just
you're
right.
happy with that?
Yeah, I'm totally.
I am
happy with that.
actually, I am so stoked about this meal myself, so I can't. Oh my goodness. One day I'm going to have to start putting together some of these meals that people talk about just to eat the madness that they're talking about. Well, thank you so much for joining me in the fantasy restaurant today.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed the meal.